Alexa, volume 2.
Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Lucy and I am a home educating mum of 2 little girls. They are 2 and 6, and I'm making this channel because I just really want to help people who are either thinking about home educating, or you are home educating, whether you've been doing it for a while or you are just starting out. I just really want to be that kind of go-to person where I can share ideas and I can help anyone who is feeling like they just need some motivation, some inspiration. They need somebody to kind of just cheer them on and celebrate them for all of the amazing things that they're doing. And you know, even if you don't home educate, you may enjoy watching this video. I'm just going to share, as well as educational things, you know, things about motherhood, things about my journey, my healing journey as an adult, and things I've learned. I'm still very young. I'm 34. I think I'm young. Some people might disagree, but I'm almost 34, and I just feel like there's so much that I know that I wish I'd known at the beginning of my parenting journey. And the whole point, you know, that's the journey, isn't it? Like, we're not meant to know all this stuff, but who knows, maybe it will be able to help some people as we go along. So yes, I'm so glad that I managed to finally pick up the camera, because I have been wanting to make a kind of day in the life for such a long time, but something just keeps going wrong, like whether it's the laptop or the camera or like a multitude of things. But I think we're finally there. I think I've finally managed to clear enough space on my computer and my camera to just be able to pick up the camera and film. So I'm going to take you along on our day today. We haven't got a lot planned. It's kind of like a homey day. We are going to try and get out at some point, and I'm just going to show you what a kind of slow day with no plans looks like, and the kind of things that the kids learn. It's quite wet out there, so I don't really know where we'll go, but I feel like we all need a little bit of fresh air today. I'm just going to go out, blow the cobwebs away. We're probably going to do some reading because we went to the library yesterday. I'm going to show you our learning trolley and the kind of things that I've got in there at the moment. And yeah, we're just going to go along and see what we do. I want to film lots more of these videos. I feel like I have so much to share, so many resources, so much information. We have been home educating now for about 3 years. Technically, that's when I made the decision, when my eldest, who's now 6, was free. So it was during lockdown. But, you know, we didn't really start doing anything different, to be honest, until she was 5, because I kind of had in my head that, you know, they don't have to legally, if you are going to enroll them into school, you don't even need to kind of do that until the term after their 5th birthday. A lot of people don't realise you can defer, so you don't have to send your children to school when they are 4. And I do think that's information that so many people don't know. A year can make such a difference, you know. 4 to 5 for us, I felt, was such a big amount of time, and she changed so much. So for us personally, she still wouldn't have been ready for school. She still didn't want to go, and I still very much wanted to honour that. And we were and are in a very lucky position, I feel, where I am able to stay home with them, and we are able to kind of manage on one wage. I do appreciate that that isn't the case for everybody, but if you're new in thinking about home educating, or if it's something you want to do but you feel like you can't, don't just take me as an example, because there are so many people out there who do it differently. There are people who work full-time and home educate. There are people who work part-time. There are people who are single parents and they home educate. I think it all comes with its ups and downs and pros and cons, and you know, a lot of home educating parents, they do make tough choices in order to be able to do that, and in order to be able to home educate. So I think it's very multifaceted. It's very easy to make a judgment and say, oh, that's okay for you, but you never know somebody's full situation. You never know what they've had to do in order to get to that place. So I ask you, just if you are on the fence, or if you are feeling any type of way about home educating and you're watching this video, to just keep a really open mind. I think that happy children are the most important thing no matter what we do, and for me this was the right decision to make and continues to be the right decision. And that's not to say that it doesn't come without its challenges. Of course it does, just like parenting does, and home education really is an extension of that, I feel. But yeah, I just want to be really open and honest and real. I'm going to share the good parts, the harder parts, the challenges, and I just want to take you along with us and connect with other people who might be thinking about home educating. If I can help in any way, I will. There is not a feeling that I have not felt over the last 3 years, and I really mean that. Like, I've experienced it all, especially in the beginning when I felt really judged and I wasn't confident in my abilities, and I knew that it was the right decision, but I was scared. But I'm also very stubborn, just knew that it was the right decision, so I held on as tightly as I could for the ride, and here we are, and it all worked out okay. And I'm here to tell you that it can work out absolutely fine for you too. So yes, come with us on a day in the life of a home educating family of 4, though my husband is often at work. Sometimes, you know, he'll have an early day or a day off, but normally it's just the weekends that he's with us. So we'll see what happens today. Queen. Wheel of That's it, just remember to do the 9 the other way round.
This is so easy.
Well done.
So easy. Like, it's just like one adding up and it's so easy.
Okay, so we've got 9 oranges here. When you add 1, what number will that become?
10.
10. Okay, so pop it on there.
I think my tummy.
Yeah.
Mummy.
Yeah. And then that's going to move over from the units into the tens. So there's going to be no units left, but there's going to be 10 in the tens column. Do you see? Does that make sense? Yeah?
It goes from 9 to 0.
Yeah, and then what do we do?
we move it over to the 10, and we've got one set of 100.
So what would you write in the hundreds column?
1.
Well done, you got it. Does that make sense when you can see it?
Yeah.
That's it. And then the last one is 9. Lots of 10 is 90. So how many rows? 10's running out a bit, isn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's it. Well done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So you've just...
He's very greedy.
He's eating lots and lots of bananas, isn't he?
And fruit.
And lots of fruit. So we went to the library yesterday, and to be honest, I kind of did a bit of a panic pickup because both the kids were running in different directions, but we got quite a good few books, and this is one of them. And Isla and I were reading through this yesterday, and it was really making us laugh. There were some really gross jobs in here, wasn't there?
I can find you one. Okay.
Here, yeah, so it says that the king he hired a grown man who was paid to fart in front of the king, and he was called the Royal Farter. And there was a farter called Baldwin Lee Petor who earned his living by not only farting but whistling and leaping around whilst he did it. And the king found him so funny that he gave him a piece of land as a present for making him laugh so much. So the girls are just having some delicious, if I do say so myself, banana bread that we made yesterday. and they're just watching Tangled. I'm going to have a cup of tea, and then we're probably going to get on with some games. What I do want to do is I'm going to show you our learning trolley and the things I've got in there and the things that we use for our more, like, I don't want to say structured learning, because we're definitely not structured, but just when we are able to kind of sit down and me and my eldest have some one-on-one time. That's usually either when the little one is sleeping or when she's got an activity set up to kind of keep her busy. Okay, so this is our trolley, and I just keep it next to our table. I haven't sorted it out, so there could be some random stuff in here, but I do change this up every so often. So in the bottom we've got our learning resources pattern block maths, which we haven't done in a little while, but we probably are going to do those soon. They're normally quite well received by both of the girls, actually. Obviously my youngest doesn't actually do the activities, but she just kind of likes to move the little pieces around and things like that. Then I keep things like this in there. These are just little like sucky things, just kind of like a sensory fidget toy. Again, sometimes the youngest will play with them if I do need to sit down with Isla and she wants to do an activity which kind of requires my attention. In here we've got some books. So we have been doing farming and agriculture and food around the world, and that kind of thing. So that's why you'll see we've got on here, got lots of different posters about the different places in the world and the types of food. And then over here we've got some artwork and some facts about where these foods originate from and where they're mostly produced. We've got a cow getting milked, a bee collecting honey, and then a sheep getting wooled and things like that. And then in here is where we have some morning menus. So I'll show you our morning menus. They may have been scribbled on, I'm not sure. So I've got this in here just for a little bit of fun, so they can kind of draw their emotion, how they're feeling. Then we have a little bit about the weather, the day, the moon phases. This is emotions and what they would like to do today, something they're grateful for. And my youngest one is slightly different. She doesn't really have all of this, but it's more like tracing activities and things like that. And then we have got the oceans of the world here, and just some daily affirmations. And we haven't, I will be honest, we haven't really been in the habit of going through and actually doing these lately. We definitely dip in and out of like a morning menu and a more structured morning, and again it really does depend on the kind of phase. A wet wipe? Yeah, let me grab you one. Yeah, it really does depend on where my youngest is at and her kind of patience, I guess, in the morning. So we just kind of ebb and flow, and that is just one of the things that I do love about home education, is that we can do that. So in here, what have we got? We have got, so Maths in Focus, I believe that is. Yeah, Maths in Focus, which I do like this book. I haven't used it for a little while, but if you look up Singapore Math and like the whole kind of, what do you call it, method behind it, it is quite cool. But I think this is possibly just a little bit too old at the moment. She doesn't tend to be as interested in this as some of the other ones. So we also use Spectrum phonics, and I do find that these are quite good. We do seem to get on with those quite well. And just other, I get them off Amazon, I think, the Spectrum ones. These are ones I just found in B&M. And again, like I said earlier, we just kind of dip in and out of them. We've also got some alpha blocks. And because we are using a lot of the Julia Donaldson Songbird books for reading, we really like these activity books that go alongside them. So we completed the first one, which was just mainly like the phonetic sounds, and now we're moving on to like the longer sounds. So this is stage 2, so we're working on and activities, and she seems to quite enjoy those, so we're just using those at the moment. And then I just have like folders with worksheets. We sometimes use these Schofield and Sims, But for me personally, they just remind me of like school books, like the things that you used to do in school. So I don't know, that's more my issue because it doesn't seem to bother my eldest. But yeah, I just think they're a little bit more boring. And then yeah, so in here we've just got some books. We've got The Farm That Feeds Us by Nancy Castaldo, and it's a year in the life of an organic farm. So it's actually a really lovely book, and it just goes through the different months, the different types of activities and work and jobs that it takes to kind of run a farm over a year. And what I love about this, because you know, we are definitely into trying to buy organic when we can, and learning about chemicals in food and things like that, and just trying to like eat the best that we can. So I love that it touches on what pesticides are and the fact that they're not great, and you know, that kind of stuff. I just think that's a really valuable piece of information. This I actually found in a second-hand bookshop, and I was so pleased with it. So it's an M&S book, but it is Farm to Food Hall, and it was £1. Like, it's this lovely, amazing little bookshop that's like a treasure cove. I absolutely adore it, and we always get such cool books. And this was just out on display, and it has recipes and it has facts about things like cows and milk, and you know, all the kind of farmy stuff, and stories about how the chicken in the chicken curry got from the farm onto the plate. Like, it's just really cool. So that's a lovely book. I really recommend that if you're doing like food and agriculture, food around the world, etc. Then I just got this fun little puzzle farm book to accompany that. Again, that was like £1, second hand, and they just have to like find the different things on the different pages. This is a really simple but lovely introductory book. It's called Before We Eat, From Farm to Table by Pat Brisson, and it just tells you about the different things on the farm, and again, just got some really beautiful illustrations. What I would call like a living book, I think. So I love that. Then we have the Welcome to Our World book, and this is just the Welcome to Our Table version of that. So it's a celebration of what children eat everywhere, and it's just got some really cool stuff in. So we were going through, looking at the different types of foods in different cultures and different countries. It talks about fermented foods and why they're good for you, and all of that kind of good stuff. My eldest definitely prefers photographic pictures, so like real life pictures, but these books seem to be holding that interest. So before I kind of purchase any more, we're just going to work our way through them. Then on that topic, I also got Curious Questions and Answers About My Body. We already had this book, and I think there are some pages that touch on food. I will say, I know a lot of people like the Miles Kelly books, and I think they're great for facts. I'm just not sold on like the kind of pictures and imagery. So they're not my favourite, but that's just my opinion. I know some people do love them. Then we got Tiny, The Invisible World of Microbes. The whole set of these books are really good. It just talks about so many different things. This is slightly off the topic of food, but not, because it kind of does go into food and how it's digested and things like that. And then another really good one that a lot of you will probably already be aware of is Gut Garden, and it's a journey into the wonderful world of your microbiome. And again, it just goes into some really interesting information about fermentation, and I would say similar imagery to Miles Kelly really, but the actual information in it and how it explains it, I think is really good. So we've been enjoying reading that as well. So another one that I forgot about, because it was just kind of tucked around the back of the trolley, is this Farm Anatomy. This is one that I did purchase new just because I had heard good things about the whole kind of set of these books by Julia Rothman. And I have to say, it has got some beautiful pictures, just such amazing information about farms and the food and the processes that running and owning a farm entails. And the lady does actually say in the book, I believe her husband moved into a farm and they owned a plot and they rented it each season to a farmer who rotated and grew corn and soybeans. So that's kind of how they have this fountain of knowledge around this and have kind of put this book together. And yeah, it's just, as you can see, really, really beautiful and so informative. So I would definitely recommend that, and I'm definitely going to get the rest of the books in this series because it's just stunning. Okay, so do medium, that's it. Okay, so it's Isla's go, so no touching me. Okay, then Mia's go, so you've got to press just 2. Okay, then Mummy's go, that's it. Okay, no touching, so Isla's go again. Oh, Mia's go.
No.
Okay, that's it.
Mummy.
Overprotective mother, forbidden rose red. This is serious stuff. But let me ease your conscience. This is what growing up. A little rebellion, a little adventure, that's good. Healthy even. I know.